Hey guys, Magnus here, bringing you yet another video. So today we're going to be doing my top 10 worst buildings from 2016. I know we're 12 days into 2016, and we're still doing 12 days into 2017, and we're still talking about 2016. I don't know why, but we are anyway. I probably should have made these like sooner, maybe at the end, but I didn't want to miss anything. Like I wanted this list to be perfect, so I didn't want to miss anything. But I'm gonna be honest. For the top 10 worst buildings, this was really hard for me to actually make, because a lot of time with the thing with buildings is I kind of have to go off looks. Sometimes I'll go off price. I mean, some of them are off price. And also like sort of how relevant they were in that event. But really, most of the time, it's just down to looks. And also, another big thing for me is, like, does it actually relate? And also, have you done a good translation from the actual show? Because that's quite needed as well. But anyway, we'll get into the list. So number 10, I have put Cletus's Dice Den. So Cletus's Dice Den. Now, this was actually nominated in the public vote. Obviously, when we did the public vote. This was nominated. This was one of the nominees. Now, I didn't actually put any votes forward to Cletus's Dice Den. The top four. Number 4 I didn't vote for because it wasn't added yet. I'll tell you that. But the top 3 and then number 5 are the 4 that I voted for in the vote. However, people voted for some reason, Cletus's Dice Den got put forward. Now, it actually won the voters' worst building for some reason. I don't actually know why. I don't think it's a terrible building. I don't think it's the worst building. I agree it's not amazing to look at, and I agree in terms of the look. It's pretty ugly looking, and that's the reason I've put it on number 10, just because of its look. It is ugly looking, but I thought overall the Cletus's Dice Den wasn't so bad. I just kind of had to take that public vote into consideration, considering it did get voted worst building. I took that in and I thought, okay, I like democracy. I'll put it on my list at least. I'll put it number 10 because there were some buildings I was thinking, ooh, that's a bit bad. That's a bit worse in some ways than Cletus's Dice Den. But I just sort of honoured the public vote, and I've put that as number 10. So yeah, number 9. Number 9, I have put Phonehenge Kiosk. Now, I haven't really talked so much about all the Christmas. Well, I talked briefly about all the Christmas buildings, winter buildings even. We can't really call that Christmas. But I talked about the winter buildings, and honestly, all the winter buildings are pretty crappy. I mean, the lumber mill is kind of cool, and I guess Springfield Henge isn't too bad. But the Phonehenge Kiosk is pretty bland. I mean, I don't know exactly why it's a building. It would have been fine as a decoration, but it's just a small little like kind of. I don't even get the joke. They're selling phones. What, back in pagan days? I don't think so. It's just a funny little gag, I guess, but it's there anyway. It's just a little tiny thing. It's pretty ugly. Honestly, I don't think it's very funny. So they're trying to make a joke, and they wasn't very funny. And overall, I just think it's pretty lackluster and very bad. Number 8, I have put Burns' Summer Mansion. So I don't like what they do with Burns' Summer Mansion. So of course they did the whole upgrading thing. This isn't the Superheroes 2 update. They did the whole upgrading thing where you upgrade it. I didn't like that. Why do they need to upgrade it? It's not like the building in the episode got upgraded and Homer started building it. That didn't happen. It's like the Redwood. Like, there was never anything where you actually where Lisa watched the giant redwood grow. That never happened either. And that's why I don't like those events when they're just making up stories that don't make any sense. That's why I don't like the Summer Mansion. Another reason I don't like the Summer Mansion is it could have added Larry Burns. It could have added Declan Desmond, to be honest. It could have added a few characters. It was perfect for a few characters. Declan Desmond would have been a good one because he actually filmed there. It was something he filmed in. It would have been better than the Worcesterfield Hotel, where he never actually visited the Worcesterfield Hotel, to our knowledge. They just sort of went, he's a celebrity. He's in the Worcesterfield Hotel. There you go. It would have made more sense if they actually added him in with the Summer Mansion. Larry Burns would have been another one for the Summer Mansion, of course. Mr. Burns' son, it would have made sense if he was in there. It just felt a bit like they just threw it at the fruit. And the fact is, the whole Summer Mansion, it didn't relate to the Superhero 2. It didn't make any sense why they added it. They just sort of threw it in, and they gave this excuse like, oh, we need to... I don't even know what they said, but it was pretty bad. And honestly, I just feel like they sort of forced it into the Superheroes 2 event where they didn't need to. And there were some buildings and characters they missed in the Superhero 2 event, which they could have done instead. So I feel like that's why I put it there. Anyway, number 7. Number 7 is the car impound lot. So this is the one from the Shelbyville update, or the it was just also called the first time packs update. This was the final update of 2016, and it was this was the final building of 2016, and it's a pretty shitty building. I honestly don't like it. I mean, it would have been better if it wasn't so expensive. Now, I'm taking price into consideration for this one because this one is actual, genuine, real money. You physically cannot earn your way through daily challenges to buy this. There's no way you can do it. The only way you can get this is through buying actual donuts with your real life money, and that's what pisses me off about it, and that's what annoys me about it, is the fact that this is a building, this is the only building in the entire game where you physically have to pay money for it, and that's the reason I don't like it. That's the reason I'm slapping it there. I gave Jebediah Springfield and Shelbyville Manhattan, I gave them the benefit of the doubt because they are two really cool characters. It doesn't sound very fair, but the Carpet Impound Lot isn't exactly an amazing building, you know? If it was like the Quickie Mart, I would be very uber pissed, but the Quickie Mart, or maybe not the Quickie Mart, let's take Buck Ackerno's, the big bookstore. Right, let's take that. That's a building I really wanted in the game, okay? It's already in the game now, but that's a building, if that was cash, I may have given that the benefit of the doubt, but the Car Impound Lot, it was in one episode, it wasn't like hugely, well, it was sort of relevant, but it wasn't like it was a massive plot point in the whole, it was a small plot point, alright, but it's not like it was an amazing building, you know, it's just a simple thing, and they didn't even make it. I feel like it's a bit small anyway. So that's why I'm putting that one there. I just think it was pretty crappy, mainly because of how much it was. Number six, I have put the Mars Colony. So the Mars Colony was, of course, in the Margian update, which was like the sort of SpaceX update, I guess. They basically gave us the Mars Colony where we had to build it up, and it was like you know, guy, you've seen it. Now, I don't like. There's a numerous number of reasons I don't like it. First of all, it's quite expensive. Second of all, I don't like the fact you have to build it up. It just, to me, seemed like a pointless and useless task. If you didn't get any reward out of it, apart from it looks more busy after it looks like people are actually doing stuff on it. Also, the other thing is it's just everything is down to scale, and I don't. It's too down to scale. I'm okay when they scale down buildings so they fit in a little better. For example. I don't even know. I can't think of an example. We'll take. Actually, yeah. Take Burns' mansion. Burns' mansion, for example. Okay, that probably would be bigger, a lot bigger than it really is. I don't know, actually. You know what I mean? Like when they take a building and they make it a little bit smaller than it probably would be in the show, just so it fits in better with the town. I'm okay when they do that, but I thought with the Mars Colony they went a bit too far with it. The Mars Colony overall just felt like they couldn't be arsed making tiny little buildings or giving us like they could have given us the desert strip there. That would have been actually Mars isn't really desert, but you know what I mean. It just felt like I just don't like it overall, and also the look of it. It's kind of hard to fit in with town, and I just overall don't like it. So yeah, number 5. So number 5, I have put the Springfield Asylum, the one that was 200 donuts from the Superheroes 2 update. Now, this is one of the things that pissed me off about the Superheroes 2 update. They added this asylum, right, and they added it quite well. It wasn't too later on, but it was if you're gonna add a building which is gonna traffic more, well, in this case criminals, but traffic more of the things you tap, right? Do not add it right at the start. Add it right at the start of the update. Come out and blatantly say, look, here's this building, you can buy it and then you'll get more of those things. Don't add it like a week after the updates already came out. It just, to me, it just seems like you're ripping people off. You're sort of saying, oh look, now there's a building where you can do this. It's like they already had this plan. They planned this out. They planned these updates like. I think they plan these updates like 5 months in advance. Personally, I don't feel like they're struggling to make these updates out. I think they've got a good team going on. I think, but this asylum to me, it just felt like they just sort of it's just like a quick buck they're trying to get, and they had to do the whole guilds deal thing. I just felt it was pretty shady, and I think it was pretty crappy. And the building itself is pretty big and ugly, and also we already have many asylums before that. We had the Bob's Mental Health Hospital, whatever the heck it was, the one from the one that sort of came a little bit, the Halloween one from last year, and we had the Carnwood Mental Hospital. So we've already had like an asylum, mental hospital sort of thing, which is what an asylum is, isn't it? So yeah. Anyway, number four is the I don't even know how you say this. Is it Ball Pit? I'm not too sure if it was just ball pit. I'm not sure how you say that, but basically the ball. I'm calling it the ball pit. Fuck it, the ball pit. So of course this was added in the winter update, another winter update one, and it's just like this. Well, it's a ball pit. It's a pit, like this stony thing full of play children's things. Now tell me you think this is not Halloween. I think this is very Halloween like. It's very gothic like anyway, and it's very Halloween like. And it does, to be honest with you, you can say like, oh, it's because they're doing paganism instead, but it's not even like it's a pagan thing. It's not like that is pagan. That's not nothing to do with paganism. A ball pit. It just seems weird to me why they made it a building. It's just like something that they could have just made a decoration, but they made it a building for some random reason, because they obviously were running out of buildings, because they didn't have any buildings, because this update was really crappy and there was nothing they could really add, and they just sort of, if looking at this update and looking actually how many buildings there aren't very many. I'll tell you exactly how many buildings there are in a sec. Give me a sec, there's loads, but there's not very many buildings, and to me it just feels like they kind of like it was half-arsed almost. Yeah, it was half-arsed. So they had 5 buildings. There's only 5 buildings in the whole winter event. That's what annoys me. 2 of them are the ball pit and the Phonehenge kiosk. 2 of them are something that would have, and actually the $5 rental. 3 of them are probably stuff that would have usually been decorations in any other update. So really, there's only 2 buildings. All right, and even you can maybe even make the case that Springfield Henge would have been a decoration. So really there's only 1 proper building in the whole update, and I just think that the ball pit overall was just pretty damn crappy. Go a bit over now. Number three is the Bandit Fort. Now the Bandit Fort was added in the Wild West. I've talked about this one before, but honestly again it's the same sort of case with the Springfield Asylum, but I just think it's a little worse because and to be honest with the Mars Colony, but basically the Bandit Fort was added in the Wild West. It was added as another one of these buildings where it produces more of the thing you tapped, in this case bandits. So it produced more bandits which you would tap, and of course it's 200 donuts. I think 200 donuts, and it's just for a start. I just feel personally that the whole fort looked damn ugly. It was pretty hard to fit in the town. Well, you can fit it around desert and stuff, but to fit it in a normal town was pretty hard. I mean, the whole thing is just like an enclosed kind of compound. I just think it looks pretty ugly. I don't like the price. I don't like how they released it. They sort of released it a little later on, so people, would have already been progressing through Act 1. And to me, I just feel like, again, it's one of these like little shady deals, little shady gil coming along. And number two is Rocket to Your Doom. There's a number of reasons I put this on here. Right, first of all, for me, I thought it was a bit random putting it in the sci-fi update. Actually, it definitely wasn't the sci-fi update, wasn't it? Yeah, it was in the sci-fi. I'm sure. To me, it was shady that they just not shady, but they just randomly sort of thrown it in there. Sci-fi. And I didn't understand why it was in there, because in the actual show, I'm pretty sure anyway. Let me just double check, because I don't want to sound like a fool. Sorry about that. It's a ride. It's essentially, okay, maybe it was in the future. I'm not too sure if it's in the future or not, but it is a track. It's a ride. It's like a fairground ride almost. I mean, it's a bit of an advanced one, because obviously it's a UFO that takes off, and it literally is essentially is a rocket to your doom, because it's a UFO that takes off and goes into space. But it's still a ride, and what annoyed me about this is it would have been perfect for Krusty Land. It would have actually been a brilliant one if they connected this, and they just literally said, right, this is going to be added in Krusty Land. So they took Rocket to Your Doom, and they said, the future's also good for what do you call it? Rides. Also good for fairground rides, right? And they say, oh, look at this. This is a cool advanced one. And they could have plopped it into Krusty Land. And a lot of YouTubers are annoyed about this. I think Nuke was annoyed, and I'm pretty sure everyone voted for this one, actually. I voted for this one. But yeah, it's just awful. I don't like the fact that it had the potential to be a Krusty Land ride, and they just axed it. It also is kind of big. It also is. I just feel like it wasn't so relevant to the sci-fi update at all. And I mean, overall, the main thing that pisses me off about this building is it could have been a Krusty Land update. And I know that's not the best of reasons to say, but to me, I just got to put that there. And then number one, can we have that drum roll? I've put Duff Gardens. So why the hell wouldn't I have put Duff Gardens? Duff Gardens annoys me, and everyone knows why it annoys me. I think everyone knows why it annoys me. So Duff Gardens, of course, was the last level building, one of the last level buildings. It gave us the Lizard Queen Lisa, I think it was, or something like that. And of course it was the premium building, and that's the one thing. Premium building, not happy with that. I don't like it when they're always premium. I wish everyone was free. Premium building is one bad thing, but that's okay. Second bad thing is it added a costume and not a character. It had the potential to add all 7 Duffs. That would have been an okay finale if they added all 7 Duffs with a guild deal. But no. Third of all, the building itself didn't really make sense in the level. It just felt like they sort of plastered together, and it felt to me like it was very half-assed, very kind of uncreative. Fourth, the building is too damn small. Alright? Now, this is the noise. I'll get into the 5th point in a minute, but the 4th point is important to me, and this is the main important. I'll get into my 4th point in a minute, but the 5th point is, again, this is another one that would have been a brilliant potential for Krusty Land. But I'll go back to my 4th point. My 4th point, it's too small. It is too small, okay? If you look at Duff Gardens, I'll have a picture. There's a picture right now, probably. There's a picture right now of Duff Gardens in The Simpsons, okay? Look at the size of it. It's humongous, alright? And that's not all of it. That's only a little snippet of it, okay? I'm pretty sure the picture, I know which picture I'm going to show. But, yeah, okay, that's not even all of it. You go inside, there's loads of different rides, loads of different things, loads of different, statues. They had some of them, they had the pyramid, and they had the big beer glass. That's all they added, and they added a few of those robots. Okay, there was so much more potential for this, and I propose they just added a really big, like a humongous enclosed fun where we could look. It would be one big building, but we'd look in and we see, I don't know, the little ride where Lisa gets intoxicated. We'll see that. We'll see the big triangle thing inside of it. We'll see or maybe they could have just add They could have just add all the different rides separately in Krusty Land. That would have been good. A Duff Gardens extension would have been good. Even if they just made the whole level of Duff Gardens, that would have been good. I would have taken that as the finale. But to me, the size, it really pisses me off. Even the entrance. Okay, look at that and then compare it to something like Burns' mansion. It should be way bigger. So they even got the entrance wrong. They only gave us the entrance, really, and that's what annoys me. They didn't give us any of the rides, anything inside. They just sort of gave us the entrance, and that's what pisses me off. Okay, they tried to do the whole thing where you send characters there and you get a robot every time you send like 5 characters. Big whoop. It's the same. It's the same decoration over and over again. It's pretty bad anyway. I mean, overall, I just think Duff Gardens for me really annoyed me. It was a terrible final level building, and this video is too long. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna see you next video. I've gone way over which I plan to do, and yeah, I'll see you next video. Goodbye.